Welcome to Underqualified and Over It. I am your host, Alice, and joining me as always is Cindy.
Hello.
In this podcast, we are over-opinionated and unfortunately allowed to talk. So sit back, lower your expectations, and let's get into it. So last time we did that personality test for the podcast, and we decided to sit and do the personality test for ourselves as well, and we're going to discuss that now because we've done it. So
Okay.
I, like the podcast, I'm a debater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You also got debater. That's hilarious.
I did.
So I got 66% extroverted, which is interesting.
Okay.
82% intuitive, 68% thinking, 61% prospecting, and 97% turbulent. And I was thinking, what does turbulent mean? And it says here at the side, it says, you're likely self-conscious, sensitive to stress, success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. And I felt called out about that. I felt so called out. What did you get?
So I got 68% extroverted, 75% intuitive, 73% thinking, 57% prospecting, and 83% assertive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I always so that's been so I've done this multiple times, and that has always been the one thing that has always come up is I'm usually, if not always, over 80% assertive for some reason. I think the last time I took this test, I got like 98% assertive. So my assertiveness has gone down a bit, but still over 80% assertive. So I guess I'm just an assertive guy. What can I say? Like things the way that I like them, and I'm gonna make them that way.
How have you been otherwise?
I've been good. So Kenny, my husband, and I we decided to watch Lord of the Rings today. So we watched Fellowship of the Ring, and we watched the two towers.
Did we both just react to the same thing then?
Kenny launching Bannerlord?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we did.
Because we both looked at I'm guessing our secondary screen where it popped up, because we've both got him as a friend on Steam, and when your friend starts playing a game, it pops up in the lower right hand corner of your screen, and it just both popped up, and we both looked over and we were like, yeah, I can see that.
Yep. I mean, I think it pops up every now and again. I think his the servers crash every now and again, and so he has to relaunch it, because I'll see him launch it 3 or 4 times throughout the day when I'm on my computer. But anyways, so we were watching Lord of the Rings, and in the Fellowship, toward the beginning of it, I noticed that the color balances on our TV were wrong. And so the scene where Gandalf pulls Sam through the window and is like, Samwise Gamgee, and is going off on him. Gandalf's hair was yellow and his skin was purple.
What?
And it was so irritating because the color balances were off. And I was I was like, I gotta fix this. This is so frustrating. This is so annoying. And it was taking me out of the movie because it was so frustrating. But I tried to fix it. It didn't fix it. And then Kenny was like, it's fine. Let's just watch the movies. And I'm like,
not fine.
Whatever. It's not fine, but whatever. I convinced him to let me try and fix it one more time. Didn't work again. It wasn't till the Battle of Minas Tirith.
It was actually the Battle of Helm's Deep.
That he finally noticed the color balances being off. He's like, oh, his beard looks weird and his skin is purple. I'm like, motherfucker, you're just seeing that? I've been sitting here for damn near 2 movies because you were like, it's fine, let's just watch it. And so he spent, after we finished the movies, he spent like 20, 30 minutes trying to fix it himself. Finally, he did figure out how to fix it because for some reason our TV does this thing where it must use AI or something where it notices what you're watching and it chooses the color selection that's best for whatever media you're consuming at the time.
Oh yeah, because you got a new TV, didn't you?
Yeah. And so it was turning the filmmaker coloring on. It's like, oh, because this is what you're watching a film, so it should be the filmmaker setting. Well, it was fucking oversaturated and super warm toned, and it just was all out of whack. And finally, Kenny was like, oh yeah, no, this is really, really bad, and this is really annoying. I'm like, yeah, welcome to my fucking life for the past 7 hours. Because this has been bad since I pointed it out at the beginning of the fellowship. He's like, this is what you've been dealing with? And I was like, yes. And he's like, I am sorry. And that is what I get for living with a half-blind husband who has glasses that are the thickness of bulletproof glass. So he was like, it's probably because of my eyesight that I didn't realize that it was this bad. But then once I noticed it, it was so bad I couldn't focus. And I was like, it was really bad, wasn't it? It was really bad. You should apologize. And he's like, I'm sorry. So anyway, other than that, had a great day. Took some stir fry over to my neighbor and, she said she liked it. So all's good things.
So I attended a funeral on Friday.
Jesus Christ.
Going straight into the deep shit, man.
I'm not laughing at you, but damn, way to change the vibe. God.
So, yeah. And the last time I saw some of my family members was at another funeral, which happened not too long ago. Less than a year ago, I think.
Wow.
And my cousin at that funeral had said, oh, we need to, the next time we see each other, it'll be for a better reason. And she came up to me and she was like, I said the last time that the next time that we see each other will be a better reason, and now we're at another funeral. And I said, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that's the way that it happens. And we were all sat there having a conversation about how we need to do something. So me and my cousin have decided that I think her mum and my mum are all going to get together for a girly sleepover and have some wine and order a takeaway and have a nice night. And then we were all like, do you know what? The whole family just needs something good to sort everybody out. And I was like, oh God, we need a wedding. And then everybody looked at me because my cousin was like, well, I'm not getting married. I was like, well, it's going to have to be me, innit? So that's kind of what I wanted to have. I wanted to kind of use the podcast today to have a little bit of a rant, if that's okay.
Okay. So did you just wait? Hold on. Did you just come home and tell your live-in husband, "Hey, by the way, we're getting married"?
No, we've been engaged for a good few years now because we. So there's a story about our engagement, and I will tell you that story. So we were planning on going on holiday, just me and him, and I think it was at Christmas time, the Christmas before we went on holiday, because over here there are a lot of Boxing Day sales on holidays, and there's a lot of sales in January for holidays as well. So I was like, do you know what? If I'm going to book a holiday, I'm going to book it in the sales so it's a little bit cheaper for us. And I really wanted to go to Disneyland Paris for 4 days. Because I knew that I wasn't going to need an entire week there because of the park being so small. I mean, now you might need it because they've just built an extension to the park. And they're planning on building even more in the next few years. So you might need some more time there. Anyway, so we only needed a few days. And my mum was like, oh, I really fancy going back. And we were at my grandma's at that point as well. My grandma went, do you know what? I've never been to Disneyland Paris. So my mum and my stepdad ended up coming with us. And my grandma and her friend ended up coming with us on a holiday that was meant to be just for me and my fiance.
Don't you just love that?
And Mum was like, oh, we're going to do it cheaper. It's going to be great. So I just let Mum take over because I wasn't having that argument.
Right.
And Mum booked it so that it was a coach from where we live in Cheshire, just giving a vague area because Cheshire's massive.
Okay.
And we were going all the way down to Dover, stopping off at other like cities to pick other people up, to then get on the ferry over to France and then drive into Disney through France.
Right, okay.
The trip from us getting on the coach, I'd say that we got on the coach at about 4 o'clock in the morning, to arriving at Disney took 22 hours. And we didn't even arrive at Disney. We arrived at a hotel way away from Disney. So then we had to get the coach to take us to Disney. And they only allowed us to go to Disney for 2 days. And then another day, we were doing a coach trip around Paris. And I just did the whole thing of, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Because it
was more mentally taxing to have, yeah.
So we did it, and me and my mum actually got into a massive argument while we were on holiday because Lee was planning on, that's my fiance, he was planning on proposing to me while we were in Disney. He had to do it twice. He had to propose to me twice because the day that we all went in together, because Mum only wanted to do Disney for 1 day and with my grandma and all of that. So we all went as a family together for 1 day at Disney. And then we did another day in Disney on our own. And during that day, my mum's friend arrived and surprised us. And but this was actually really nice. This part was actually really nice because my mum's friend knew somebody that worked at the parks. So they managed to get us a dining reservation at one of the restaurants, which was Planet Hollywood.
Okay.
So we all went to Planet Hollywood, and my stepdad had taken my fiance to go around the park to try and find a way to propose to me really nicely. And they ended up just, they were talking to like the staff members and stuff, and the staff members were like, oh, well, if you wanted the package, and you were doing this and you're doing that, it's going to be an extra like €300. And he was like, no, we're not doing that. No, let's not.
Right.
So they went and got me a little music box and put the ring in it. And then when we were at the restaurant that evening, he like slides the box over and I open it, and then he asked me. But just before that, while we were all ordering our drinks, she said she didn't do it on purpose and she mustn't have done. I don't know what had happened. But the drinks were all like film related. Like the cocktails were all film related. And she ordered the indecent proposal.
Oh.
And then he proposed like that to me. And I threw off the handle. I flew off the handle. And I was out of there. I was in tears. And then we had a massive fight and all of this. I was like, you've ruined my holiday. You've ruined my engagement, all of that. He came out to like calm me down, and my stepdad came out to calm me down as well.
Right.
And basically, when we got back to the hotel, I gave him the ring back and said, you're going to have to try again because I can't have that evening be my story for how we got engaged because it was terrible. I can't have that. So luckily we went in the next day just on our own and we had a lovely time. Like we'd had a lovely time the day before up until that point. And then we went in the next day and we had an absolutely fantastic time, and we stayed for the fireworks because we didn't the day before because the coach was like, oh, you need to turn up at this time to get on the coach, otherwise we're leaving without you. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Luckily, our hotel was like one stop on the metro from Disney. So we were just like, do you know what? It's going to cost us
Big
€5 to get to the next stop. We'll do that because I want to watch the fireworks. So we did that, and then he proposed to me during the Star Wars section of the fireworks, and it was beautiful.
Aw,
And it was lovely.
that's cute.
So
Yeah, I don't have a good proposal. My husband is not the most romantic creature that's ever walked the earth. He he basically handed me the box and said, "Here, will you open this?" Because we both knew that he was going to propose. And because I told him, like, if you propose to me in the US, I'm going to say no. You have to propose to me in Scotland. And so he had gone through and like booked us like this holiday up in the Scottish Highlands. And, you know, we went there for a week. And on the first day, he pulls out the box. And I could tell he was like a little bit nervous, but he literally. He didn't get down on one knee. He's just, it was so awkward. But it was just the two of us in this little holiday cabin thing. And he just like, "Here, will you open this?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." And then he tried to get me to put the ring on my own finger. And I was like, no, sir. No, you will be putting it on my finger. And I think he was also, because we were friends with somebody else at that time. And I think she had told him that she didn't think I was going to like the ring. And so I think he was also nervous about that because he kept asking, he's like, "Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Why? Because I also don't like diamonds. I don't care for them. And so he got me an opal. And I thought it was beautiful. And I actually have stopped wearing it because it cracked, because opal is one of the like weaker gems. And it's not something that like can be fixed because opals are ground down. And so it's chipped. And I was like, I don't want this to break any further. So I actually have stopped wearing it. So but yeah, no, it was just really funny because it's just so authentically him, just to be like, "Here, can you open that?"
the thing is that the whole thing at the restaurant, that was authentically him. But the thing is, because of the whole drama that went off,
yeah, that was
it would have been
unfortunate.
completely. And I said to my mum, I said it would have been completely different if you'd have ordered a different cocktail. She was like, "Yeah, but I just liked what it had in the thingy. I didn't think about it." So just one of them.
Yeah.
But also, funny thing is, I don't wear my ring either. The ring that he chose. He actually got one of his friends who was really good at picking jewelry because he's got no idea, to help him out picking my ring. And I think I'd worn it for about a month, and my finger started to get like gammy and started peeling away. And I was allergic to the metal of the ring.
Oh, that sucks.
So I had to stop wearing it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm just wearing like, so my family came to visit, and we went out to Edinburgh Castle and like took them like exploring around, whatever. We went to the gift shop there and they had Outlander themed jewelry.
Oh, I love that.
Because my husband, he'd gone in and he had bought me like a hoodie and it didn't fit. And so we had to go return it, and you could only return it for store credit. And so I was like, well, I mean, why don't you just get me that? So I actually have a Celtic knot Outlander.
Oh,
themed.
I love that.
It's just like, I think it's just like a literal like titanium band. It's not even fancy. I think it's like £50. Like, not even. But for his ring, I got him just like a normal titanium band, and then I also got him the ring of Behir from Lord of the Rings, so Aragorn's ring.
Nice.
Because we're nerds.
So yeah, all of this kind of kicked off. Well, we've been trying to kind of like plan our wedding for years, and this has kind of like kicked it into gear, really. The whole talking to the family and saying that we need a good experience for the family and all of that. And honestly, I've been looking at venues and stuff because if I'm gonna, I only want to get married once, and I want it to be good. And I'm sat looking at venues, and I'm like, weddings are so expensive.
Yeah.
They don't need to be that expensive.
No, there's
Especially,
I feel like it's been proven that they actually jack up the prices for a lot of things when it comes to weddings.
especially when, number one, I'm not actually properly getting married there. Like, I don't need a registrar or anything there. It's basically just a big family party, really.
Yeah.
And I only really want it from, like, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon until the evening time anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't want it all day, like the venue. But there's places that are like, oh yeah, we do. So there was a place that I really liked. So for the all-inclusive 3-day, 2-night packages, including all accommodation, bearing in mind all of that accommodation is like every single bit of accommodation that's on the land. So I understand that part. For this year is for April, October, and November is £9,450.
Yeah.
But that does include, I think it includes all of your catering and all of your bar stuff as well. But I don't need that much because I've only got about 50 guests coming. Like, I could understand that price if I had like 200 guests, but I've only got about 50.
Yeah.
And it's one of them where if you want like the picturesque wedding and you want a really nice like background and all of that, because this is what I have the budget for.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's okay, but it's right slap bang in the middle of town.
Yeah.
And I kind of want it to be nice.
Yeah.
And it's just it's way too much money. But
one of the things that I will say is that because Kenny and I were, when we got married, we were looking at venues both here in Scotland and back in the US. And because we initially were planning on having 2 different services, one for my family over there in the US and one for his family here in the UK. Once we actually visited a couple of different venues here in the UK. That number that they're giving you does not include everything.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be changed from how much like food per person, how many people you're inviting. Like that number is a ballpark estimate of what it is to just reserve the grounds.
Yeah.
Based off of what, and this is going off the venue that we looked into here in the UK. So yeah, no, they jack up the prices for everything and anything having to do with weddings, which is why we ultimately wound up not doing one here in the UK, and we just did like a reception party. But no, I understand. Like it is not a surprise to me that people don't get married as much anymore when you look at just how expensive it is to get married. Because to have a decent wedding, like you're talking about £9,000 just for the venue.
Yeah.
That's not including like the £2,000 or £3,000 dress. That's not including like the couple £100 probably for catering. Probably looking for cakes, like £500, like for picturesque stuff, right?
Yeah.
You realistically have to have set aside for a wedding 25 grand. Like it's ridiculous, which is why Kenny and I were just like, we'll just do like whatever's cheapest kind of thing, is because fuck it.
I could understand 25 grand if I had 300 people coming to the wedding.
Right.
Right? Yeah. I could understand that price, but I don't have that many. I only have 50. That's less than 100 people. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's half of that.
Like I feel like there have been people who will call in catering for a party versus catering for a wedding.
Yeah.
And the price difference between the two, it's like having pink tax for women. Like on any like feminine anything, there's this extra amount that goes onto it just because of the packaging, you know? And it's like that for weddings as well.
Yeah. What I was thinking as well is instead of like having somebody come in and cater it, is I know at least 2 people with a Costco card.
Mhm.
Costco.
Yeah.
They do those like wrap things with in the big trays and stuff.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can go into Costco, get a crap ton of food that is just there. We can send somebody out who has the Costco card and go, right,
Mhm.
okay, this is exactly what we want from Costco. You go pick it up and bring it to the venue, and then we'll set it all up and we do a buffet.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah, you
makes
could
it cheaper.
absolutely
It's just
absolutely.
getting the
You could do something
venue.
like that. I would say that, like, when it comes to planning a wedding, you have to choose 5 things that are your priority. Like, you basically have to write everything down and then prioritize it. So, like, how important is the venue to you? How important is the dress to you? How important is the guest list and the food and the cake and all of these different things? Because Costco also does cakes, by the way.
Costco also does cakes.
Yeah, and I will say you do have to call them to put in the order and then have somebody just go pick it up, especially for things that are that big. Yeah.
I would be happy with a crap ton of cupcakes.
Yeah, we could do that.
Honestly.
I mean, it really just, what it boils down to is how much money do you have and what are your priorities? Like, that's the biggest thing. What can you do yourself? Because you have to think of, all right, so there's save the dates, and then there's the invitations, and then
I'll do them myself.
Yeah. So I thought that, and then it really got overwhelming for me. So I then did not do that. And in all honesty, our wedding happened. So, like, we had to get the save the dates out, like, because we got engaged in September and we got married in February. So realistically, we had like 5-6 months to plan our wedding. So we had to get the save the dates out like ASAP. And so we did that, and I was going to do it all myself. And then I was like, I just can't, I don't have the time or the energy to do this myself. Cause I was also working at the time, driving back and forth to try and plan the wedding on the weekends. Cause I was living 4 hours away. So on the weekends I would drive 4 hours, plan things as much as I could for the wedding, drive back, work all week, and rinse repeat for the next week. So, like, it was a very hectic time in my life. And honestly, a lot of the planning kind of just fell to my mom to do. But my biggest priority during my wedding was trying to not spend as much money as possible. And honestly, we did pretty good with not spending a whole lot of money, because I think I got my dress for like $200-$300, which was not bad. And then the food was not great, but hey, it was there on time. There was a lot of things that just weren't perfect, but at the end of the day, what my priorities were saving as much money, because, mind you, I had a bunch of immigration funding and moving overseas that I had to focus on as well. So I couldn't just allocate all of my money into planning and doing a wedding.
Yeah.
So my priorities were keep the budget as low as possible and make sure that grandma can be there. Because my grandma, who is 97 now, at the time was like 95. And I was like, this is probably going to be like the last big event that she's going to be able to make it to.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest priorities. And ultimately, the wedding is definitely, in my opinion, the most important part of a wedding is who is there.
Yeah.
Because if you can, like, the whole story with your mom and them being on the holiday and him having to propose to you twice and that whole thing, that her being there and ordering that drink was the one thing that ruined that proposal for you. Otherwise, it probably would have been lovely.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same with your wedding. If you have people that are going to be shit stirrers there, it's going to be one of those things that either you're mentally prepared for, or you have somebody on standby to handle, or you don't invite them.
I mean, I've already got the list ready, and it's
right.
It's roughly about 49 people, because we've decided that we don't want children under the age of 10.
Yeah.
So it's roughly about 49 people. So let's say 50 just in case, because somebody might bring a child.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably will.
So, say for instance, so most of these venues here, like, because they're just saying the menu, they're not like saying their like, these are just prices via the menu, not like the hiring of the place.
Per head.
So this is per head. So most of the places are £25 per head. So 25 times 50 is 1,250, right? Or let's say
That was pretty
35
reasonable.
times 50 is 1,750.
Yeah.
And I don't want a photographer anyway, because I hate that. One of the things I personally hate about weddings, being of the neurospicy variety, I don't know if it's the same for everybody else, but I hate it when you've got the bride and the groom and they've got to do the whole like taking pictures with all of the family members stuff.
Yeah.
And then the people that aren't involved in those photos that have been invited to the wedding and are
Have to wait for like an hour.
waiting around for like 2 hours while they're doing all of those photos. I hate that. Absolutely hate that. And I don't want that. So what I want is disposable cameras.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's going to get disposable cameras and they can take pictures throughout the day and throughout the night. So you get this as soon as you come in for the hand tying ceremony, because that's what we want to do. We want to do a hand tying ceremony and then go into the reception like straight away.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I want as soon as the guests come in, they'll have a disposable camera on their chair and then they can take pictures of the hand tying ceremony, and I don't want anybody's phones taking photos, just the disposable cameras. And then in the evening time, because my dad is the worst one for it. That's the gamer dad. He will take a picture on his phone and upload it straight to Facebook. I want to be able to upload all of the stuff. It's my day. I want to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not just him. There's probably a few other people that are being invited that might do that. And God. I don't like that.
I can't stand it. So I actually knew somebody who, her and her husband had gotten pregnant with their first child. And they went and told the family. The mom, like his mom, went and immediately posted on Facebook. And he had to be like, no, take that down. Because we haven't announced it to everybody. This is not your news to share. And she was butthurt about it. She was just like, she threw the biggest adult woman Karen hissy fit that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, I was at the time I was dating his brother, and this was like a family gathering I had been invited to. And so I'm just sitting there as the girlfriend to this whole situation. And I'm just like, you guys are having this whole ass argument in front of a basic stranger. You realize that, right? Like, they did not give a single shit.
Yeah. And of course it was his mother as well. It's always the mother-in-law on the male side that has the issues for some reason.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues. There were a lot of issues with that family. I have a lot of things. So I also didn't like the idea of people waiting around to get pictures and things like that done, because I also didn't like that idea. So what I had is everybody who was part of the wedding party stayed longer after the reception. And we had some standstill photos, and I had my uncle take the pictures, had a few family friends join. But for the most part, it was just, those were the static photos. And then everybody else could just take photos how and whenever they wanted. But yeah, no, it was a very interesting, event, my wedding. There was definitely some people being caught doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. We did have a wedding planner, but she did it for free because she was brand new to the industry and she was trying to build her portfolio. And we were like, sure, we'll give you a shout. Like, why not? And she actually, people had taken my car and driven it around back and were writing completely obscene things on it. And in the right setting, it would have been fine. But the fact that we were at a church, is you cannot be writing things like that. So she, first of all, told off the people that were doing it. I didn't find out until later. So good on her for not letting it get in the way of my stuff. But she I got annoyed because I walked out front. I'm exhausted after the whole day and my car was gone. And she's out back with a paper towel trying to rub it off and everything. But she it got real bad there at the end. But for the day itself, it was a really good day. So yeah, no, it's I definitely could have some suggestions, like, but they also do things really different here in the UK. So like when we went to go look at the wedding venue, here in the UK, the lady showing us around was talking about the wedding breakfast. I had no clue what a wedding breakfast was because we don't call it that. We call it the reception or the dinner or whatever. And she's talking about the wedding breakfast, and so we're like, so like the next day, like, and she's like, no, like you're breaking fast as like the newly married couple.
Yeah.
It's your first meal as a married couple. And we're like, oh, so this is like dinner you're talking about. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, because that confuses me as well. Because I was like, the wedding breakfast? I'm not getting married at 9 o'clock in the morning. Sod that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, nobody likes to go to an early wedding because then the day's massive, right? You want enough time in the morning to get yourself ready. That's why I'm not getting married. Well, married. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go to the registrar on the Friday because of me being Norse pagan, I would like to get married on Frigga's Day, which is Friday.
Okay.
And Frigg is the goddess of marriage.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I want to do. So we're going to get officially like officiated and registered as a married couple on a Friday, and then on the Saturday is when it's party time.
Yeah. So basically your wedding is going to be like the reception.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
But we're just going to do a small hand tying ceremony before we get to partying. And a hand tying ceremony is only going to take 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, we did a hand tying thing for ours as well.
Because what I want to do is I want to have a little altar set up at the side where I'm going to come in. Me and Lee are going to both light candles for our passed on people that can't be there, that are there in spirit. We're going to light the candles, and then we're going to do the hand tying ceremony so that we can like respect our ancestry.
Yeah, we had that too. We had for the family members who can't be here, we had like a lantern lit for them. Because obviously, like, I chose not to have any bridesmaids or anything like that, because Kenny had come over from the UK by himself. He didn't have any family. He has some friends, but no one close enough to take like the best man mantle up, you know, obviously in the US. But he's not like, he just didn't have anybody. And I was like, I'm not going to stand up there with all of my friends and family and not have him have space. So what we did was basically like, we had the first 2 rows of the church were filled with like my family, and it was just like alternating sides, and the rest of it was just stadium seating. You got a good spot depending on how early you arrived, kind of thing. And then, so it was just Kenny and myself. And one of my mom's friends actually still talks to this day about how much she loved just having the couple up there, because she's like, oh, it just takes me. I mean, she's like, she's an elderly lady. She's like, it's just so refreshing to not have a whole party of people up there and just be able to focus on the couple getting married. And I was like, that was unintentional, but she loved it, so I'm glad she was happy. And so it was just like so much more about the people than it was about the event for my wedding.
Well, it kind of works out for me with the wedding party, the way that the wedding party is going to be, because he's not going to have a best man and I'm not going to have a maid of honor, mostly because I can't choose.
Well, we both know who your maid of honor is, so that's fine.
No, there's the choice between 2 people.
No, it's okay. We know who it is.
And but on my side, there's going to be 3 girls. And then because of the way that his stuff with his friends happened and stuff like that, we're going to have 3 guys on the other side. And luckily, 2 of those guys are with 2 of my bridesmaids. And then the extra one is not the +1 to the extra bridesmaid, but it's a part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because their +1s are going to be there. They're just not part of the wedding party because I don't know them that well.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. What planning a wedding is, I am not an event planner. I am very much I will choose the basics, but I'm not going out of my way to like find like there was this wedding dress that when I went to go try on wedding dresses, because I didn't know what would look good on my frame.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm a broad person. And so I didn't know what was going to look good on me. And do I think that my wedding dress looked good on me? I actually don't think that, but it is what it is. It looked good when paired with the leather jacket that I wore. So that's fine. But there was this one wedding dress, the one black wedding dress that they had that I tried on. And I was like, oh my God, this is so me. And it was just a showroom dress. So it had like holes in it and everything. And they were like, oh, we'll give it to you for $1,000. And I was like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a dress. I'm sorry. As much as I love this dress, I'm not paying $1,000 for a dress. Because so the dress that I got, I'm actually going to dye it black and use it as like just a date night dress once I actually have the time to like do that. But it was just like, my sister was looking at photos of me in these dresses because I was like having my mom take photos and send them to my sister. She's like, the way that your face changed completely when you tried that dress on. I was like, yeah, I know. Honestly, it was the perfect dress, but I wasn't about to walk down the aisle in a black wedding dress to a piano rendition of Mary on a Cross with my 95-year-old grandma sitting in the front pew of this church. I was like, I'll go for something a little tamer. I'll do a white dress, but I'll wear leather. You know? So it's still a little bit me. But the black dress just wouldn't have gone with the rest of everything that we had planned because the rest of everything was just kind of like more rustic.
Yeah.
You know, like if I had been getting married in like a Gothic cathedral, yeah, the black dress would have been perfect. But this isn't a perfect world.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just was like, you know, the dress is not what matters. What matters is being able to spend time with the people who are most important, had the most weight raising me to this point in my life. And so.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up.
Oh, okay.
Because we're getting to nearly the hour mark. Thank you for allowing me to rant about weddings.
Yeah, we'll probably have more conversations about weddings, both on the podcast and probably off of it as well.
Yeah, because I mean, some people might comment and all of that, and we might have more discussions and stuff like that. So feel free to like put your disaster horror stories of your engagements, put your wedding horror stories in the comments. You know, we love to read them. We love to see them.
Some of the most horrific wedding stories on Reddit that I've read.
Oh my gosh, that should be our next Reddit.
Do some wedding stories.
Do some wedding stories for Reddit. Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy.
So this has been Underqualified and Over It.
If you made it this far, that's on you.
Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.